Hello and thanks once again. It's another day for the gathering of the middlemen. It's never offensive to indulge in this ritual, I tell you so. This is the market and ideas are the fair. I am Juro Cyril Apaku. With me at table are Juros Emeka Madunago, and he will basically be scrutinizing President Tinubu'S outpouring at the just concluded G20 summit in Brazil. He actually called it Lamentations of a President. While Juro Olajumoke Alaudo James joins me here, she will be putting a magnifying glass over the events in this country in the past week. I will be asking what it takes to be the president's spokesman. Spokesmen for sale. That's my case title. If you're ready, let's roll. Hello and welcome back. My case, spokesman for sale. Our president is spoiled for choice in appointing who should tell us his mind. In fact, there are so many that there seems to be more spokesmen than men to be spoken of. The appointment of Daniel Buala as yet another presidential spokesman after Sunday Dare and Bayo Onanuga almost led to World War II. That is, if you see it, that the battle between Ajuri Ngelale and Bayo Onanuga could pass for World War I. Daniel Buala was only a so-called official presidential spokesman for less than 24 hours. He was later corrected that he misunderstood his job title. Whatever follows is that he has been kicked down. Not out, just kicked down. He could have learned from Sunday Dare. My verdict: there can be 100 spokesmen, but only one team leader who heads the function. That's what I recommend. I so rule.
It looks like Bayo Onanuga just doesn't want anyone to do anything above him. He wants to be all and be all. You know, be in charge of the comms team. You know, I was speaking with my girlfriend yesterday and I said that Daniel Buala in 24 hours, and I was quickly corrected that no, in 6 hours he was demoted. You know, but my case will speak about how the president has over 12 media aides and he doesn't talk to the press. So of what use are these media aides? We saw how what's the yellow popo who give one information.
Chief Ajuri Ngelale.
Angelali.
Ngelale.
He will give one information in the morning, and then his Oga will come. I don't even know who is Oga, who is somebody.
No, Bayo will make the statement. Ajuri will come and say Bayo was not authorized. You know,
this is Oga who is subordinate.
For somebody to tell you that.
So now,
it's even worse now. It's worse now.
Angelali has now gone. It's worse because now you have
nobody.
Senior special advisor on social media, senior special advisor on policy and communication, senior special advisor on information and strategy, information and all sorts of new senior special advisor on new media. I thought that this government was serious about implementing the Orosoi report, which specified that the Nigerian civil service is just too large. Now you serve 5 ministers, employ 7. Then you have 13 media aides, sort of like just creating portfolios where you are compensating, you know, party loyalists, people who worked for your ascension
or
into
those
power.
who didn't even work for you, but have found a way to skim to the top. Because in Buala's own case, you know,
he kept on abusing the president. It's all right.
Yes, you know he did. So people, so many people are saying that. Why is he coming to reap where he didn't even sow in the first place? And
if he was competent, that would be a fantastic thing for you to be. You find again that I mentioned in my case to be forgiven of Cyril criticized me so much, but because I know that he's competent in media, you know, portfolio, I employ him to do the work, regardless of how. So it will now be Cyril's honor or integrity
the
to
integrity
say
of his own beliefs and convictions
that I do not believe in you. I have spoken over and over against you. I do not believe in your government. I do not see you doing right. Why would I demean my career, my personality, and come and work for you? That will be left to you. But a president who is president for all, may see your merits and say, regardless of that you are from the other side, once the elections have been won and lost, let's forget political parties and think about who is most competent for good governance, right? So it would have been a fantastic thing that you're picking a Daniel from Atiku's camp, right?
But are you sure he was not seconded to Atiku's camp?
Look.
To spy on Atiku?
Look, me have looked at
because
all the people in AP,
he said,
in Labour Party,
yeah.
And this your conspiracy theory.
Kenneth Okonkwo is not, he has been accused clearly that he was planted on Peter Obi. He has been accused clearly.
I don't know about Kenneth Okonkwo because he was very passionate and his passion may be why he opposed Peter Obi finally, saying, you are too soft. Go and fight for this mandate. But people like Doyin Okupe.
No, Doyin Okupe. First of all, Doyin Okupe is a convict.
Yes.
And he needs a state pardon.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you see, when somebody, here's a fact, he was convicted now.
That made him stand up from being DG of the campaign.
He was convicted now, so Doyin Okupe is a convict. He needs a state pardon. So, he's ready to just lie on the ground for Tinubu to step over him. Yes, now. So, that you can understand his problem. Doyin Okupe is over 70. So, I can understand his, he's in a pathetic situation.
Okay.
One, two. This is someone who has worked with different presidents. But at the end of the day,
he was former president Jesus.
He was of no benefit to those presidents. He worked with Obasanjo. At the end of the day, there was a story, I think, in his biography, in his autobiography, where he said he was explaining why he had to go and prostrate for Obasanjo. That, concerning the crisis in PDP in Ogun State then, when he called somebody, he called a number thinking it was that person, not knowing it was the number of a former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Shegoni, who is very close to Obasanjo. So he said all kinds of things about Obasanjo. And then Shegoni related everything to Obasanjo.
Oh my goodness.
So Obasanjo angrily tore his membership card. Because he gave the impression that, yes, they were going to disgrace Obasanjo. PDP was going to disgrace him. So Obasanjo said, instead of people to disgrace me, let me leave your party dramatically.
Yeah.
So he said when he learned about it, he now had to go and prostrate for Obasanjo. So a man like that, look at Jonathan. What value was he to Jonathan? Actually. No value.
Nothing at all.
He could not control Ogun PDP for Jonathan. Yeah. Excuse me, he could not do anything useful for Jonathan. So, what do you expect at the end of the day? Nothing. So, all this one is doing for Tinubu. His
portfolio under Jonathan was about what?
Public affairs.
Public affairs.
And somebody asked him a very vital question about his portfolio. And the way he answered, the internet can never forget.
The thing is that for somebody like Doyin Okupe, a man over 70, still running about.
Yeah, but let's not drift from our main topic.
It tells you
but again,
that,
Nigerian politicians,
you can only just
look at
him.
Benga Daniel, former governor, and then, what was he to Atiku? Then campaign DG. And then said, oh, my people are asking me to lead them to APC. To do what, sir? Only for him to now go back to Senate. To go and make which laws? Do you get what I mean? So what we find in Nigeria is that once they become politicians, right? Forget that they were lawyer, doctor, that were practicing before they joined politics. That free money is difficult to live in and around Aso Rock, where everything falls at your laps. And then after that, you now go back to hustling.
To nothing.
Hustling. So you now go and pick your lawyer's wig and go and carry scalpel as a doctor to do what?
To make it.
When you have been earning free money for 4 years or 8 years.
Is it 11 or 13?
So they stay permanently, they become permanent politicians looking for any appointment. Just fix me somewhere. I cannot go back to hustling. That's why they become disgrace in their old age.
I mean, look at 11 or 13 spokesmen doing what? Mostly what they mostly do is to write
they contradict themselves, sir.
Write articles.
Rejoin us.
But I'll tell you what.
Juro Emeka, most of them, they should just have hired them as social media influencers.
Well,
social media millions. You come and say, government is not doing something, no. The special advisor or media and strategy that will come and attack you. That you don't know what you are saying. So before, we used to have social media influencers that companies and even politicians will pay stipends. Now we are hiring them as media heads.
No, you see, what it also shows is that these people are not in tune with current trends. I'll tell you what, if I was in political office, what I would just do is, I will develop an AI assistant that will study me, look at all about me online, I'll load it, and then anytime I need to make a statement, it's that AI assistant that will do the statement for me, and then I'll just edit it. I'm a journalist now, I'll just edit, and release it from my office of the governor office or whatever. I'll release it.
Meaning that you just need one aid to just be using AI.
I don't even need any aid.
No, of course you will need.
I may not need an aid.
You will have an aid.
I may not need. I may not need an aid
because of the amount of work.
Of course.
The amount of work that you are doing.
Do you know a lot of these people in public office? What do they do?
President Tinubu was having a meeting with Prime Minister of India. And the Prime Minister of India's aide was busy
taking notes. Didn't you see the person beside Tinubu?
Was the president saying anything worthy of notes?
No, but people were saying maybe he had a recorder. And I said that even when you have a recorder, you take notes. That is standard, that's standard practice.
That guy didn't have any recorder. I can put my money.
He didn't have anything. So he was just there. Maybe
for sure, photo.
Just seeing the. So what we're talking about is that I've heard it should be that President Bola Tinubu should trim his media team.
Will he hear?
He should but we should say that clearly that he should trim his media team to about 3.
He should trim his entire cabinet.
3, his entire cabinet.
All
trim
the special
everything.
Advisors.
Because he has not even appointed ambassadors. He can take some of them to become ambassadors. Let them go. Let them go. You see, the issue is this. If I were close to Tinubu, I'll tell him, look, a lot of these people could actually be salesmen for you. You're looking for loans up and down, whereas there is money that Nigeria can make on his own.
A lot of those people don't truly believe in him.
Look at Shegun
Dada. We're pulling out tweets from this aides from many years ago when they accused Tinubu when he was governor, of all sorts of crimes.
Yes.
Today there is media aides. How do they convince us? How do they sell him to us?
That's Ebola is even the most embarrassing.
You see, and frankly, I like the argument Shegun Showomi made. I want to believe we know him.
He's my friend.
Yes, he said, look at that. As somebody from the southwest, you look at the Lagos Ogun or your corridor, corridor. It is where most of the bylines in this country come from.
True.
So they are spoiled for choice.
True.
He, as an advisor to the governor of Ogun State back in the day, used to, according to him, cross swords with Delalake as a commissioner for information in Lagos, and that they knew that the Lagos people had a very tight media team, had a tight control on the media. But whatever happened when they got to Abuja, and it is the most basic thing you do in government.
True.
By the way, I even feel really embarrassed.
Public relations.
Standard operating procedure, right? There are some titles you can find in some states and local government areas that should not come to the presidency. Till today in America, you have the chief press secretary. That person is the clearinghouse. Yes. You could have a director of communication and so on, but the chief press secretary is the face and voice of government.
Yes.
What happened to that? We have special advisor, senior, all the with funny titles. I don't understand it. What happened to having a chief press secretary?
Well, there's even a local government chairman in Enugu.
I know.
Who has set up an office of
Yam advisor, the egg advisor, secretary advisor.
That's my case.
Yes, you can find all those things in some places, but for the presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewer, thanks for listening to my case and whatever. When we return, Juror Emeka Madunago has tears to shed for President Tinubu's outing at G20 Summit. Stay with us.
You're welcome back to the middlemen of jurors. The title of my case is Tinubu's G20 Lamentations. My case. At the recent G20 summit in Brazil, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu was captured on camera lamenting the nation's quote-unquote problems. In a sly manner of speaking, he outlined things such as out-of-school children, protectionism, banditry, terrorism, flooding, among others, are some of the problems of Africa, for which he was seeking help. While he spoke, he deployed the art of sophistry by mixing Nigeria and Africa, as if all parts of the continent are afflicted by the same issues as his home country, Nigeria. He, however, forgot perhaps deliberately to mention corruption and bad governance as some of the ills plaguing the continent. In actual fact, Nigeria. But the participants at the summit were neither amused nor taken in by his sly manner of activating sentiments. You know, typical Oyibo man now. You could almost hear them saying, amid the pin drop silence, and so what? Tinubu has been running from summit to summit in search of loans to fund various meaningless projects and humongous recurrent expenditure. For him, commercial borrowing at any cost and without strict conditions on their utilization is better than seeking well-packaged concessionary loans. Of course, those kind of loans will come with very strict conditions. That is, inflicting pains on Nigerians doesn't matter to him insofar as the money flows in. Even his chief advisors, the International Monetary Fund and World Bank, are gradually abandoning him to his ultimate fate, an insolvent nation. By now, he should have read the handwriting on the wall that the party of free-flowing loans is coming to an end. Nigeria is gradually becoming a borrower to be avoided, and soon the lenders will demand a structural readjustment program or allow the economy to sink. My verdict, President Bola Tinubu has enough time to realign his wrong priorities, cut the cost of governance, cut the high cost of oil production, deal decisively with oil thieves and sundry criminals assailing Nigeria's human and natural resources rather than junketing all over the world in search of loans. A word, like African elders say, is enough for the wise. I so rule.
If you come asking for loans, right, and I say, how much do you need? And you say to me, madam, I just need 200,000. I want to start small business. And I like, look at your jewelry. You're wearing 300,000 naira gold. I just think that you're not serious when you're carrying a Louis Vuitton bag, you know. So as the president of the nation, talking about household school children, over 20 million of them, hunger and all of this, a lot of people were saying that he's going to complain to the world leaders about suffering that he inflicted himself. Does he think that they don't know what's happening in Nigeria? But you come wearing a Rolex watch and then you tell us that there's hunger in your land. Then we see that you build, renovate Vice President's Lodge in Abuja, renovate Vice President's Lodge in Lagos. Vice President Gongo is from Borno. We are looking at you like, are you serious? There are bigger issues. You are talking of hunger and you are renovating houses in billions, excess of 20 billion. And you are saying that we don't have money. Do you know how many hospitals and schools 20 billion will build? Even if it is that you want to do what they call a food bank.
Yeah.
If you started with that your 20 billion that you are using to renovate house for one person, because let me not talk about their family, because I mean, if we truly elected you, we expect you to go with your family, you know, to the post. So let me forget my thoughts on that. But the point I'm driving at is, if you put vice president to be living in the president's lodge, you just give him a room or quarters, you know, in the president's lodge, and you use that 20 billion to start food bank, because you have removed subsidy on everything, on fuel, on that, on everything, you know, on foreign exchange, and you are now going to World Bank to say, sorry, we started this laudable idea of feeding our children while their parents are adjusting structurally to all of the, you know, subsidy removals. Can you help us? Feeding school children makes them stay in school. We're trying to provide free education,
which was one of the things he said, yes.
You know,
because children can't get lunch, makes them not
if you were not using the monies that we see you making to buy presidential jets, latest Cadillac, SUVs for your wife and aides and Georges, right? If we do not see you buying presidential yacht, I don't know when last the Navy fought any war that you people are buying presidential.
I mean, for instance, why would your minister of FCT take land from Julius Berger, and instead of putting the land, you know, on a bid to get very good money, You now say you are building judges' quarters.
You see?
I mean, you see.
Then you now go to
these are people who are
not. So
not.
and say that your people are hungry.
Somebody like me.
Are they stupid?
Somebody like me that have sat in different markets, in the sun and in the rain, looking at my merchandise, and in my mind that I must make sure the merchandise is sold. Even up till now, sometimes when I travel to the east, I go to Onitsha main market and sit down, with my in-laws, to learn the business of buying and selling. Sometimes I sit with my friends in the market.
Journalist, though.
Yes. But bills have to be paid.
Just to see how it's done.
And
true.
I told myself one day that I will stop borrowing. And I've achieved my target because as the year is ending, it's just a fraction that's remaining to be cleared. So what is it? It's about setting your priorities right. Nigeria should actually even be a nation that is lending people money.
Big time.
Egypt had the same problems we have.
True.
They had an IMF program and all that. At a point, Egypt decided to sell citizenship. He said, hey, who wants to be a citizen of Egypt? Come and pay down $250,000 first. Thinking outside of the box, then, sir. 5 years, you will pay so, and so. Which many countries have been doing. Germany was doing it, Trinidad and Tobago. There are a number of countries that are doing it. Thinking outside of the box. That, if you invest such and such amount, we'll give you citizenship. We'll also add some perks to it. But the sad thing about the way people think, in terms of public policy in Nigeria, is that, things that are easy to do are not doable. The low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit. Yes.
In 2017, I did a survey. I think there was a topic we were discussing, right? And then across Nigeria, if you find any state out of our 36 that doesn't have any mineral at all, they will have some gas mineral underneath the belly. Yeah. If it is not potassium or uranium or something, we have gold, we have crude oil, we have coal. Yeah, they may say that coal is going out of fashion. It's not going out of fashion.
It's not. Do you know they are clean stoves now?
You know that our gold belt cuts across from Ilesha. I always talk about this Ilesha gold.
Which is true.
All the way to Zamfara.
In fact, Zamfara is
that's why there's terrorism in Zamfara. Yeah. They are fighting to be in control of the natural resources.
And the person
former governor
of the money is the Nigerian government.
Former governor was saying that Zamfara gold is for Zamfara's children. He carried gold bars and we don't know where they are storing those gold bars now. But the point I was driving at with this is to say that country with so many natural resources should not be borrowing any money, because there are countries without any single natural resources. They even have natural disasters instead. They are selling their human resources.
Can I give you an idea? Germany makes more money from chocolate than all the cocoa producing countries in Africa.
Look at that.
Switzerland used to occupy that position. Germany now saw, there's money in making chocolate. Germany keyed into it. Then, can I also tell you that, there was a time the gold, we had what we call the gold standard. Gold was the measure of exchange.
Yes.
Before the US now, dropped it because they felt it was a stable measure of exchange. But let me tell you right now, gold, the price has come down because of oil. Because of Donald Trump's victory. So it has pushed up the dollar. So people who have those kinds of investments, dollar investments, they are doing very well, like Elon Musk and all that.
Yes.
Then crude futures are still high. Yeah. But gold is going to rebound. And can I tell you something? If Nigeria decides to use gold as one of its standards of exchange, we can actually pay off a lot of our debts.
Like Russia did.
Yes.
We can pay off a lot. Just go to Zamfara.
We used to think that it was impossible to pay Nigeria's debt until President Obasanjo came.
We can't have all these golden resources and say we are still going to borrow and look for money.
It is because those in charge don't have any play. They don't have any idea beyond borrowing.
No, sir.
And can I give you an idea?
I disagree.
Can I give you another idea?
I disagree. No,
let me just land somewhere with this idea that, you know what? You can go to the people of Zamfara and have an agreement with them. Go to the people of Ilesha that, look, we are going to transform all these places to an El Dorado. Just like I think, is it Alaska, where people are paid dividends from oil, you know, and then you have an agreement with them that, okay, we're going to do this and this and this, but you see this your gold, we're going to use this gold to hedge against inflation, just like you're doing to the Niger Delta, do it to Zamfara. Now we'll use it to hedge against inflation, we'll use it to hedge against our debts, so that let our economy bounce back.
No hanging fruit, sir.
Very
you know, like
easy.
I mentioned earlier, the gold belt goes from Ilesha to Zamfara.
Right all the way to Zamfara.
Leave Zamfara, people that have discovered their own. Leave Ilesha, although theirs is being illegally mined. The entire belt is raw, or refined, or mined.
So instead of just using oil for forward sales to collect loans, why not use the gold? Because gold, oil, the high years that oil has gone in the last 20, 30 years was under Jonathan, $110. But gold is over $2,000. Can you see the difference?
You were talking about.
So gold, when you just bring it, you smelt it into bars. But oil, you have to produce, you have to refine. Then the ones that the coal fire people will hijack and all kinds. But gold is easier for you to
transport,
control gold, to control the exploitation, to control the smelting, and to control the export. True. These things, look, you see, that's why I told myself that I will never jackpot. Now this country, this is the place to be in the world.
I agree.
This is the place.
I agree.
It's okay. You know, you were saying earlier that they don't have the ideas of what to do. Experience has taught me that Nigeria is not where it is for want of ideas. It's like the argument of the poor versus the impoverished, as I made it.
The poor versus the impoverished.
The Nigerian problem, but you see it like this. It is the case of people who know what to do. You know, it is
they profit from not doing what they ought to do.
It is when you've known the game very well.
Yes.
You now know how to undermine it without being caught.
Yes.
That's where we are. When the righteous rule, even the Bible said that the people rejoice. But when men of evil, men who are emissaries and ambassadors of Satan, are in power, and I'm telling you,
when they bear rule,
the citizens will weep.
When Satan, since he can't come in human form, he will send them like angels.
He will use his
you know, there's
possess them properly.
There's a journalist,
and everything they do, every step they take, every money they share, every idea everything they say is working back against time.
Can I tell you something?
And deliver Asorok. You know,
no, it's not. Before you get to Asorok, let me tell you a story. A journalist,
talked about this spirit in
Suya Yodele is a journalist. You know, he's a columnist in Tribune. He said that one time when they went on an inspection of power plants, you know, around some parts of the country, that there's a place in Edo State that there's a federal government plant that doesn't work. Then near it is a private plant that works. And the owners are paid $30 million every month.
Is a lie.
The federal government plant, power generating plant, doesn't work. But the private plant, they pay them $30 million every month. Now, do you know what?
Sabotage.
Obaseki, deliberate sabotage. The former governor, Governor Obaseki, one of the things he succeeded in doing was that he was able to twist, you know, his way into building a plant, a power plant, generating plant that is supply power to, you know, the Edo State Government House and some other places. Now,
like Lagos State now.
Yes. Now, what are we talking about? It's not just about Tinubu.
So the people who say that government has no business doing business, they are right. Because once the business is government owned, it will not succeed. But allow private investors, besides that failing government business, it will thrive.
Now, see the thing. Every country has to evolve its own model of how it wants to do things.
Yes.
In Dubai, government is more efficient, more excellent, more resourceful than all the Western companies like Apple and Co. in Dubai. Government offices are faster. Their turnover rates are faster, more efficient, more responsive, more productive
than the West.
In terms of time, in terms of manpower, in terms of capital, in terms of human resource. They are faster, more efficient, and better than some of the Western or than all the Western companies doing business in Dubai, including the ones from the EU. This is the point. Government can be in business. The question is, let's define our government. That's one. Yes. Number two, even if government says it doesn't want to be in business, okay, how does government now allow those who want to do business do the business? So we must answer for that.
Like that private plant in Edo State. Why not just hand over the government plant
to the private
to run, then have a contract?
And they say, don't give us 30,000, don't give us 30 million. You can say, okay, just be giving us 20 million
that power plant
per month.
Connect it to some places, maybe quarries and all that. They will provide power to them,
ideas, yes.
even to farms, and they will pay you. Like I was,
don't give
like
us $30
I was saying,
million, just give us 20.
Like I was saying on a TV program some days ago. I said, let me tell you, Tinubu should ease out Mele Kyari, the GMD of NNPC. I'm sure he heard me. And then he should now tell NNPC, they should first of all do a forensic audit of NNPCL. And then now calculate all the debts. All.
How can we be owing money and not
and do you know what? Including all the money put into, do you know what? Including all the money put into turnaround maintenance. And then tell the new management of NNPC, we are going to take it to the stock market. Now, we need buyers. I'm coming. They are not. They're just a private company. Then do you know what? You will tell them that, look, you who are the buyers, these are the liabilities of NNPC. We want you to pay down the liability, at least up to 60%
of the debts.
Or everything. Plus money spent on turnaround maintenance that won't turn around anything. Then you now take NNPC to the stock market. Let me tell you something. That is where you will now unlock Nigeria's riches. It's the same thing with a lot of these private companies in Nigeria. Why are they not doing well? Their equity is more like dead capital. Because a family owns a business. They just want to run the business just within them. You know, when the business is actually sinking. And they keep complaining, a high price of this. You have locked dead capital. Whereas you can have an open system where you invite equity. Equity that can enable you to look into other areas.
Dilute your ownership and then
dilute your ownership. Or you cannot keep doing the same thing over and over. It means something is definitely wrong somewhere. And that is why the economy, the Nigerian economy, do you know what? Look at, for instance, look at MTN. Look at their share price. You say MTN is the biggest telecoms company. But their share price is not up to 10 cents if you convert it. So how do you do business in such an economy, a small economy? We must expand this economy by letting go of some of these things we think, it's my own. It's my own. No, Soludo, Governor Banabasi once said something. He says it's better to own 10% of something than 100% of nothing. Do you know what? There are a lot of companies in Nigeria, governments and all that own 100% of nothing. Until they let go of 100% of nothing and restrict themselves to 10% of something.
Very true.
That happened to the Hebrew family.
Financial wisdom, sir.
That happened to the Hebrew family. They owned Oceanic Bank. Now, EcoBank was going to take it, but they were told that you're going to own just 10%. So instead of 100% of Oceanic Bank that you owned, we will put it under EcoBank and you will now own 10%. And they quickly signed that deal.
And quickly went home to just go and be collecting dividends.
Simple.
And somebody was saying, to describe what you have just said, Elon Musk, that they asked him to come and invest somewhere in Nigeria, and he said, Elon Musk, is it like he has liquid cash? All his money is in equity now. Before he can invest in anything, he has to go and sell stock.
And you can trade it. No, not just, you can sell stock, you can also trade stock. So that is why you see these guys remain rich. They just remain rich.
Wisdom, sir.
Thank you. When we return, Juro Olajumoke Alaude James will walk us through the land and tell us all she's found in the past 7 days. Stay with us.
Yo, welcome back. We're still on the middleman, and my case is Nigeria this week. Nigeria's president is accused of having 13 media aides, but doesn't talk to local press, implementing Orosanye report to shrink the civil service in the mud. What's funny is how majority of those aides have spoken negatively of him in recent past. He must be very forgiving. Following the president's steps in creating as many portfolios as possible to employ more aides right now, is a local government chairman in Enugu who is explaining why he appointed aides. Pardon me, on garden eggs, yam, and pepper. He must be planning to be the nation's food basket. Oh my goodness. Chairman of Igbo Etiti local government area of Enugu State, Eric Odo, defended his appointment of aides on yam, pepper, and garden egg. Jens will say yam, pepper, scatter, scatter. On Tuesday, Odo had announced the appointment of Ezeogo Ogbonna as Senior Special Assistant on Agriculture, that's yam and pepper, and Uwodo Ugonna as Special Advisor on Garden Egg and Pepper. This local government chairman must really like pepper. The appointment stirred criticism from many Nigerians who saw the positions as an anomaly. Nigerians are making me laugh. On Wednesday, Odo then said the appointments are meant to boost production of the crops in large quantities to satisfy local demands and for exports. Definitely, he likes pepper. The same week, though, terrorists attacked another military camp in the north, killing at least 20 soldiers. Same day, Major General G.S. Mohammed was seen in a video alongside another soldier hitting a driver. We're waiting for the army to tell us that driver is a terrorist, which will explain why they stopped him in the middle of the road to descend on him. Overtaking you in traffic or scratching your car is definitely not an excuse for the assault we saw in that video. And why do military personnel keep attacking soft targets when the real threats to their lives are sharing money on TikTok? And the week hasn't even ended. Wow. These are the kinds of news we get weekly, while almost the whole population is currently struggling to survive. Food inflation that's placed at 33% feels like 300% real time every single market you go to. Wither Nigeria. My verdict: Nigeria can definitely not continue on this trajectory, or we'll all end up as refugees in that Togo I've been joking about. And no one is going to save Nigeria but you and I.
Absolutely. No one is going to save Nigeria except but Nigeria. You and I. And the way to save Nigeria is what? We must think big. Our dreams must become bigger than just eating rice and beans and drinking champagne. Those things we actually eat could be repackaged. We could actually spin value chains from, you know, those things.
Garden
egg. From the yam, from the egg, from the garden egg, from the pepper. He can spin value chain because, for instance, garden egg is, you know, a social delicacy, you know, especially in the southeast. But I think the man had a problem with communicating, you know, because why concentrate on the three? All he needed to do was to have prepared a convincing, persuasive argument on, okay, these three are native to our area, and these are three things that we can grow, three crops that we can grow in this area and really make a lot of money. These are projections, these are financial projections. These are the number of trucks that come to this area every week and take away these things. This is the money that comes. You know, at least make it an intellectual discussion.
Is he intellectual? Is he
that is the problem. So you see, the problem of many of these people is that they may have laudable ideas, but because they can't think big, so they just make it as basic.
Or they lack people that can help them couch it properly.
Think big. So they just make it so basic, and people laugh over it. Yes, it's laughable because he just put it garden egg, yam, and pepper. But guess what?
Yam, pepper, scatter.
Yam is big business for Ghana right now.
And they are using Nigerian yam head.
No. Okay. If I just may right. If he had, as much now, I'm trying to speak as a communications person to understand what he should have done. It's a simple thing. Special advisor on agriculture is enough.
Now local government
we
now.
know that in this area, our niche products
is garden egg,
so you don't need to
yam,
put that
and pepper.
On any paper. If you wanted to now put any special, whatever, if people came to invest, the person that will address yam farmers will be this person.
That special advisor.
And whoever comes to talk to Ghanaian farmers will be this other person.
Special advisor is not even a commissioner or a councillor. He's only supposed to advise the local government chairman on, okay, Oga, we have planted 100 million tubers of yam this month. Those investors that are coming, tell them that we have yam. It's a special advisor, isn't it?
No, George Mwake, in some cases, like in Lagos, there are special advisors who are cabinet members, actually.
Yes.
of your local government.
No, commissioner level cabinet members.
Of local government.
No, state government.
This man is a local government chairman.
No, even local government.
Could that be same? Even in the presidency now.
Even no, special advisor can attend cabinet meetings. Yes.
Okay. But where I'm going is this, right? Having just said SA agriculture, right? We know our niche products in this place. Then, is he aware that we don't export raw crops in Nigeria, and at least by law?
Intellectual.
So what we should have now done is, because I mean, even if the law was in there, how do you want to what's it called? Harvest yam, pepper, and all these things, and then take them? Maybe you're going to Brazil or Bulgaria. I
want to even believe that.
So what he should have done?
I want to believe that what he meant by export is to export to other local governments.
Local market.
In Enugu.
Even
Nigeria. First to other local governments in Enugu. And then to Nigeria. Because our former Minister of Agriculture, what's his name again? Audu tried exporting yam.
But because our ports are not working well.
That spoiled in the port.
Yes.
Before even leaving the port.
Which was even against the law by the
So now everybody is saying that yam has become gold in Nigeria.
Which is true.
So this local government chairman can actually turn his yam to gold and export it to Lagos.
Or do you know what? Even export to Lagos. Or even turn it to yam flour. Enhance it and export it.
We don't chop.
Or on the other hand,
that's the entire value chain.
Pounded yam flour.
Yes.
Because you have blenders. Do you know the funny thing? China is importing pounded yam blenders to Nigeria.
Yeah, exporting to Nigeria.
Exporting to Nigeria.
No.
Those are even poundo yam. Now, I'm even talking of the one whereby
the blender.
Even Eba. I've seen a blender. I've seen a blender that can stand Eba for you.
Obasanjo in 1999
said
that his favorite meal, this was pre-election interview on NTA, right? He says his favorite meal was pounded yam and egusi soup. That when he came out of prison, somebody brought him a yam pounding machine, which was made in China.
Guess what?
And designed by whom? Designed by Professor Mabogunje
of Nigeria.
Because he took it to federal government and they did not see the value in it. So he carried it abroad. They produced it for him. They do not pound yam. It's just that it's yam. So we now started importing something that was designed by one of us.
And they've expanded it to also be making eba.
Guess what, sir? My normal blender for blending pepper. I wanted to make what's the name of this white soup? Nsala.
Ofe nsala, yes.
Ofe nsala. And I just threw because I put the yam pieces in my soup. I just threw it inside my normal blender. Sir, it was pounded yam that came out.
What?
The yam that I put in my ofe nsala soup. You know, you use the yam to thicken the soup. So I put it in the blender to blend. But by the time I looked back and forth, it was pounded yam. So I'm saying that even your normal blender, you do this thing that you're saying that blenders are good for gari and yam, you know. So if local government chairman Odo was going to be exporting his yams to Lagos, to Abuja, and become the food basket local government,
who knows? Let him even say that, look, yes, that we are going to be the one-stop destination for yam in Nigeria. And if he had said we are going to crash the prices of yam in Nigeria, the North would have taken notice.
We even go quickly. We will enter night bus to Enugu and say, sir, we are here. Do you know
middlemen? Do you know how many middlemen will go with millions? Because another thing he could have done is just display. Okay, we have irrigating machines. So we are going to be irrigating our farms 12 months in a year, 24/7. We'll be irrigating our farm.
So, are we putting the cart before the horse? Because he just employed this his SSC on Tuesday.
No, what I'm saying is that he shouldn't have emphasized. He shouldn't have emphasized on their appointments.
One of them is garden egg and pepper. The other one is yam and pepper.
It's miscommunication.
So, and possibly you have dry pepper, fresh pepper, the pepper different species.
He didn't tell us.
But you see, the communication was...
But you know the interesting thing? I was in Bayelsa recently, and I saw that their pepper is even far cheaper. Their pepper palm oil is far cheaper than what you have in Lagos.
You know those things are produced locally. I hope you know.
It's because of transportation.
Even their crayfish.
Because you are in the Oil Rivers Protectorate, so all those things are
produced
they perish before they get to Lagos. Is why they are more expensive.
No, but I bought these things and nothing happened to them.
Jumoke, any day you're in Port Harcourt, ask for Ogoni Gari and Ikwere Gari, then compare it with what we have here as Ijebu Gari, you realize that even this Gari thing that we're talking about, we have abundant species that are really good.
So are we exporting our cassava to the detriment of...
No, we're exporting our cassava tubers.
To the detriment
we're taking
of
them to China.
Drinking Gari.
And that is where the problem is. We are not a value-adding nation. We don't add value to anything.
I agree.
So that is why...
Even our farming is,
the other day,
is pretty much still... subsistent.
And it shouldn't be like that. Because just two things. If we can get technology which is available, technology for irrigation, technology for flood control. Because Tinubu was also complaining about flooding.
Flooding, natural made flood that they opened down.
Poland is built in the middle of water.
And yet
Venice is built on water. So all you need...
Have you seen the biggest dam in the world? In China.
The Three Gorges Dam.
That once they open them, the earth will slow down. That's exporting your common sense now.
And commons, it's available everywhere.
By the way, you also talked about the general that was beating somebody.
Oh, true. Plenty things happened this week.
That's a shame.
I'm waiting for the army's comeback.
Dear country.
I'm waiting for the army's comeback, and then
the army said they had become aware of an incident involving army personnel. I felt
because
so ashamed.
There was a video.
I felt
you
so
know,
ashamed.
if you saw in that video where the maybe alleged oddly, because the GS Mohammed himself, they say he's the major general, looked older, cannot be less than 50, and this young guy beside him, either the driver, oddly or anything, he accosted the lady who was recording and took the phone from her. Maybe he didn't know how to switch it off, because we could now still hear their voices in the background. You know, they knew what they were doing, and they thought to themselves, oh my goodness, you are recording the assault, you're going to get us in trouble. So they took that phone from her. I like how this couple, I've just written straight to the Nigerian army. They're asking for compensation, they're asking for apology. Nigerians must start to fight back. The soldiers who are trained to fight external battles cannot keep on attacking soft targets. Civilians, you and I, who are not trained to fight.
Did you see the video of the Ondo State governorship election where policemen were running?
And somebody was saying
they ran faster than the voters.
Be alert! Be alert! Be alert!
And the policemen and voters were running, and the policemen outran the voters. In Itore, they abandoned the voters.
Is Nigeria not truly a zoo?
And then look at the Inspector General of Police. Another thing you missed in your chronicle.
I wanted to keep it short.
The Inspector General of Police said that Nigeria should stop displaying incidents of police
on social media. And we quickly responded to him and said that, sir, just this, the day he was talking, they had recovered 7 million from one police station in Lagos. The day he was saying
even in Bayelsa.
So we quickly responded and said,
10 million.
You are begging us to go off social media to your police complaint unit, where the matter will die and it will never see the light of day. Is it not this social?
Right mind?
Yes.
And
meanwhile, they have a police complaint response unit on X
that is dead.
No, do they respond?
They will even ask you to bring money.
So we have laughed about this case a lot today, but particularly the yam scatter matter.
Yam pepper.
But I mean, there's in some sense, right, that we can also take away from the case, in that this gentleman, if he had only added intellect, a bit of intelligence, consulted people who know, to what he's doing, we may have a different result. Nigeria has so much natural and mineral and human resources that we shouldn't be where we are today. And it is you and I to save Nigeria. So that's all on The Middleman today. It's our joy all the way to have you on the show. We invite you to join the conversation by leaving a comment in this section, while also visiting all our handles across social media at Enterprise TV 7. Until we come your way again, from all of the jurors on the table today, we say bye.
Bye.